Hey, Bert. Bert, how you doing?
Hey! How are you? Working?
I don't know he was going to be here.
Put this together for next week.
Cool, cool. You're fine, you're fine.
Yes, actually, reservation.
Go ahead, go ahead. You're okay, you're okay.
I'll just kind of look up. Oh, okay. It was abnormally busy for us too. It was very bizarre. I'll stand up. Yeah, that's one of the twins, maybe.
I barely know, but still no. Especially if
Look, you make me look short now.
That's all the marathon.
Thing going on at Shanks. Talk about it. At Shanks. I got a lot of people working for me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
you join me in prayer.
Thank you all. But it's nothing about me. It's about a great moment tonight, a great moment in history. I want to start off with, let's do one thing. I want to thank a couple people tonight that absolutely need recognition making this happen. What a wonderful project for the community that the school and Mr. Roots is taking on with his students. So I want to let's give Brian Roots a round of applause once again. Brian, go ahead. Absolutely a labor of love that this young man has done for our community. And you can see the sign, I was telling Mr. McVay the other day, you can see the sign on the other side there that says, this project was completed. Well, it was. The city had partnered with the school system at the time to do a capital improvement projects all over our community that the people wanted to do. And we had the stadium built along with other structures all over the community, and we thought it was complete until a teacher wanted to inspire kids and get them motivated to think about history, writing, and all the things that involves community. Got these kids involved, and they dug in, got these stories. And watching these stories evolve to the newspaper and different things all over our community that they put it out, it's incredible to watch the history of the 44 come alive. From our community, we say thank you, but Mr. Roots, thank you so much for teaching these young kids and bringing the memory and completing this project. So as Mayor of Reno, I now deem this project complete with this cherry on top. What a wonderful job that he inspired these young people with his leadership and getting these kids involved. But I think that Mr. Rooks will also agree, these kids absolutely took hold of this thing. They learned so much more. They learned about history, compassion, service, dedication, and the ultimate sacrifice. So to you 44, the family members that have come all the way from New York, I bet, to California, to the ones that we know here in town, welcome to El Reno. Thank you for your service of your loved one, and thank you so much for being a part of this historic moment in our community. We really appreciate you all. And lastly, I think the community has to thank the school system and the leadership of Mr. McVay and the ability of him letting his teacher and his teachers letting the students take hold of this deal, and the community as a whole, that we've all pitched in and gave money, gave support, but there's so many people out here in this community that made this possible. Thank you so much for all of what you did. It made this project absolutely a success. So give yourself a round of applause. With that, we're so excited about the program today and the unveiling. Thank you so much for you all coming to El Reno. Welcome to El Reno. And thank you again for the service of your loved ones and the completion of this project.
I'm not sure I could add anything to what Matt had to say, but I would like to do one thing. If you could bear with me for just a minute and my teacher spirit, will you close your eyes with me? And when you think about your childhood, and I want you to put in your mind one teacher that you can remember. If you could think about one teacher who got your attention, who you trusted, who loved and who loved you back. Open your eyes. And I want to tell you, Mr. Rooks, you're that kid for me that as a teacher, that sitting in my class, every single day, I went home and I thought, that kid doesn't need me. He could teach this class. And in fact, there were many days, and Katie was there, there were many days where I said, Brian, it's yours today. You got this, as a 14-year-old student. So I cannot tell you how big this Valentine becomes when someone has done something so special and so unique that they bring all of us together for this. And so Brian, thank you for what you've done. You are a role model, and I'm going to end with this. The other role models at this presentation tonight are behind me, and they're the writers of history back here, and they did their job. And every single time that you hear that schools don't educate kids in what they need to learn, I want you to remember those kids standing back there that wrote these stories, that got this project started, that inspired a community, a state, and a nation. And I want you to remember, from December 7th, 1941 to today, we don't forget in El Reno, and our kids don't forget in El Reno. Thank you for coming. Mr. Rooks, it's all yours.
Not Brian yet, just a little bit. We are humbled and honored to have Colonel Shanks from the Altus Air Force Base that is going to say a few words for us. Colonel.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you very much for making me a part of this ceremony. I'm absolutely honored to be here. I'm absolutely honored to be a part of honoring the 44. And I'm honored to represent the more than 4,000 men and women of Altus Air Force Base and our U.S. Armed Forces writ large. There's an old saying in the profession of arms that every warrior dies twice. The first, when they take their last breath, and the second, when the last person speaks their name for the last time. Now really, that's just a fancy way of talking about someone's legacy. When we think about the legacy of the men of the 44, We immediately think of the impression they made on the other side of the globe, fighting a great war. They were a unified force for good, fighting for the values that made our nation great. But there's another legacy that the 44 left behind. One that was left in a small town in central Oklahoma. In the 1942 census, El Reno had a population of 10,078 people. That year, and several years before it, El Reno sent its brothers and sisters, hundreds upon hundreds, to fight in harm's way around the world. But before they were soldiers, before they were airmen, before they were sailors and Marines, they were football quarterbacks. They were farmhands. They were oil field roughnecks, and they were college students. They were the sons of El Reno. They were sent to represent our nation thousands of miles away on the other side of the globe, and a little more than 4 years later, all but 44 of El Reno's sons would return. But I would argue there's one final legacy, and it's the legacy that I see in the eyes and the faces of the men and women, young and old, that I see before me. You are that legacy. In a moment, we'll once again be speaking the names of the 44. As we do, I ask that you remember that in so doing, we are now the keepers of their legacy. We are the ones keeping those warriors alive in our hearts and in our minds. Their legacy rests with us. Thank you.